The year was 1995. I was turning 20 years old, riding around in my Isuzu lowrider. We were listening to Coolio, Pearl Jam, the Loonies. There was a major domestic terror attack. Michael Jordan made a comeback, and Windows launched a new operating system. 1995. Where were you? Quick reminder to smash that subscribe button. We have a new episode every Friday talking about 80s and 90s pop culture. Facebook, Instagram, you can find me, Class Reunion with Chris Logan. TikTok, Class Reunion with Chris Log. Just take off the A and the N. And email classreunionwithchrislogan@gmail.com. You can comment on any of my YouTube videos. You can comment on Facebook. Send me some direct messages. Shoot me an email if you want to talk 80s, 90s pop culture. 1995, the yearly inflation rate in the USA, 2.81%. The Dow Jones closed at 5,117, which it closed over 5,000 for the first time ever. Interest rates, 8.5%. The average cost of a new house, $113,000. Average income per year, $35,900. Average monthly rent, $550. Cost of a gallon of gas. You know, I like looking back, but I don't like looking back at the cost of gas. And I do remember this. I do remember when I started driving, which was the early 90s. You know, gas was right at $1. You can kind of get it for 99 cents a gallon. In 95, it was $1.09. Right now in 2022, what is it? Like $4? U.S. postage stamp was 32 cents. The average cost of a new car, $15,500. Today, that's $40,500. And we're going to start with this major headline. There was a domestic terror bomb attack on the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma. I'm sure you remember that. Killing 168 people, injured more than 680. Happened on April 19th. At 8:50 a.m., Timothy McVeigh drives a truck filled with explosives. Setting 2 timers to set the bomb off, he parked this Ryder truck in a drop-off zone right under the building's daycare center. At 9:02 a.m., the truck, containing ammonium nitrate fertilizer, nitromethane, and a diesel fuel mixture, detonated in front of the north of the 9-story Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, and 1/3 of the building was destroyed by the explosion. The FBI spent some time following the bombing, trying to decide if it was international or domestic terrorism, and Timothy McVeigh was arrested within 90 minutes of the explosion by Oklahoma State Trooper Charlie Hanger. He was driving his yellow 1977 Mercury Marquis, Timothy McVeigh was, without a license plate. He was arrested and also had a concealed weapon. On April 21st, federal agents take McVeigh into custody as they continue their investigation. June of 1997, Timothy McVeigh found guilty, sentenced to death. May 26, 2004, Terry Nichols is found guilty of 161 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 161 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. So we had Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols involved in that deadly terror attack. I didn't know this. I found this out doing my research for 95. The longest running legal battle for a domain name is believed to be the fight for PETA.org. That's PETA.org. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals sued people eating tasty animals to obtain the name. This case spanned from 95 to 2001. The website was meant to be a parody. It was done by Michael Dawney, and he lost the domain name. He had to pay PETA the sum of $28,671 in legal costs. Also, Michael Jordan announced that he was coming out of retirement in March of 95. He rejoined the Bulls, originally drafted by the Bulls in 84. He had 3 championships, 91, 92, 93. Sudden retirement, late 93. You can watch The Last Dance for more on that, which was the ESPN series about Michael Jordan. Now, during 94, Michael Jordan played minor league baseball for the Chicago White Sox. He made it back to basketball, and he went on to win 3 more NBA Finals with the Bulls in 96, 97, and 98. Then Jordan really called it quits in 2003. And I remember back in the day, and I still have it, it was Michael Jordan's Upper Deck Chicago White Sox baseball card. And I remember getting that card thinking that, man, in the future, that's going to be worth a lot of money. That's when Michael Jordan got away from basketball and started playing baseball. And is it worth a lot? No. I think it's like $10 or something like that. Really, really disappointed me. But what I found out by someone who collects cards, and I read up on this, that late 80s, early 90s baseball card, basketball card, football card was so mass-produced that there are not many rare cards, which is driving down the value of some of them. But man, I thought that card was going to be worth a lot. Not. No surprise, Seinfeld, which was in its 7th season, and Friends, which was in its 2nd season, were 2 of the most watched shows in 95. And ER was the medical drama. Remember ER? Followed the group of Chicago doctors. That was the 3rd highest rated show of the year. This was like another did you know? Because I didn't, but I wanted to share this with you. During the month of February, balloonist Steve Fawcett completed his very first solo trans-Pacific balloon flight. He took off from South Korea and landed in Leader, Saskatchewan, Canada. His balloon was named the Solo Challenger. Fawcett continued to pursue ballooning and other world records during his career as an adventurer until his disappearance in 2007. Steve Fawcett's plane vanished over Nevada during a scouting mission, and he was officially declared dead in 2008. Didn't know that, didn't remember that, but I was 20. I probably didn't care about really what was going on in the world. Popular toy from that year, Teacher Barbie. Ladies, did you have the Teacher Barbie? Or dudes, you can have it too, I guess. Was $27.99. The Teacher Barbie came with 2 students. It was a set. Came with 2 students, a chalkboard, 2 desks, and a Teacher Barbie herself. O.J. Simpson found innocent. You know, from start to finish, there's so much around this O.J. Simpson trial. He was accused of killing his ex-wife, Nicole Brown. And by the time the verdict of the trial that lasted 8 months was reached, more than 150 people tuned in to watch the jury's live final decision. Best-selling car in 95. Again, the very classy Ford Taurus. Ford was on top of their game in the early to mid-90s. What was the best-selling truck? That's coming up, but if you've been following some of my videos, you may know what it is. An unprecedented heat wave struck the Midwest. Temperatures exceeded 104 degrees in the afternoon for 5 days straight. At least 3,000 people passed away, 750 in Chicago alone. Music. Some popular artists and bands, Deep Blue Something, Weezer, Rage Against the Machine, Mariah Carey, Alanis Morissette, Garth Brooks, Janet Jackson, Blues Traveler, yes. Let's take a look at the Billboard Hot 100, the Hot 100 singles of 95. Number 1, and this was from a soundtrack. We'll get to the movie in a bit. Coolio featuring LV, Gangsta's Paradise. Man, that was a big song. TLC's Waterfalls, number 2. TLC's Creep, number 3. Seal, Kiss from a Rose. Boys to Men on Bended Knee, number 5. Real McCoy, Another Night, number 6. Mariah Carey's Fantasy, number 7. Madonna's Take a Bow, number 8. Monica, Don't Take It Personal, number 9. And a song I still play at some wedding receptions. Montel Jordan's This Is How We Do It was number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 songs of 95. Taking a look, and I'll run down some very R&B and hip-hop heavy on the Billboard Hot 100. Let's see, Boys to Men, Water Runs Dry, Adina Howard, Freak Like Me, yeah, Blues Traveler, Run Around, All for One, I Can Love You Like That, which was the remake of John Michael Montgomery's song. Bryan Adams, Have You Really Ever Loved a Woman? Shaggy, Boombastic. Nikki French, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Desiree, You Gotta Be. Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone. Michael Jackson was still doing his thing in the mid-90s. Hootie and the Blowfish was coming onto the scene. Hold My Hand was number 22. Biggie's One More Chance. Aini Kamosi, Here Comes the Hot Stepper, another song that's popular now because of TikTok. Hootie and the Blowfish again. TLC's Red Light Special. Janet Jackson's Runaway. What else? Loonies, I Got 5 on it. Yeah. Sophie B. Hawkins, As I Lay Me Down. Moke and Steph, He's Mine. Collective Soul, December. So you kind of had some rock that was also breaking on to the pop scene too. Let's see. Melissa Etheridge, I'm the Only One. Biggie was doing his thing. Big Papa. Tupac, Dear Mama. We'll get to that in hip-hop. Dr. Dre, Keep Their Heads Ringing. Corona, The Rhythm of the Night. So there was like this hip-hop R&B thing. There was this rock thing. And then there was also this dancey thing with Corona and Nikki French. And what was the other one I mentioned? That was, Real McCoy, Another Night. Let's see, what else? Skee-Lo, I Wish. Natalie Merchant, Carnival, 69 Boys, Tootsie Roll. Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do was 95. Real McCoy again. Naughty by Nature, Feel Me Fro. 20 Fingers, Short Blank Man, another song that is on TikTok right now. Let's see, some more Brandy, Annie Lennox, Lil U2, Crystal Waters, 100% Pure Love. So you had some more dancey songs. Bone Thugs and Harmony was coming onto the scene with First of the Month. Firehouse, Stevie B, Dream About You. Rednecks, Cotton Eye Joe. The Pretenders, I'll Stand By You. The Pretenders, I'll Stand By You, that's a song that sounds like it may be a 70s or 80s song, but that came out in 95. Soul Asylum, Misery, Van Halen, Can't Stop Loving You. Some of the songs that were on the Billboard Hot 100. Some of the popular hip-hop songs from 95. Tupac's Dear Mama. Mobb Deep was big on the scene. KRS-One, I mentioned Loonies. Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard, and the Jizza. So you had that New York style hip hop that was kind of taking over. The Far Side, Raekwon. I mentioned Dr. Dre, Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Ice Cube was big on the scene. Let's see, Goody Mob and Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. Outkast, Benz or Beamer. Outkast was on the scene too. LL Cool J, Doing It. E40, ODB. So just some popular hip-hop songs. And when it came to rock, you had Live with Lightning Crashes. Pearl Jam, Better Man. Green Day was big. When I Come Around. Oasis, Smashing Pumpkins, Collective Soul. Goo Goo Dolls, Space Hog. U2, Everclear, Santa Monica, My Friends by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Better Than Ezra. Alanis Morissette was doing her thing. Silverchair, 7 Mary 3, Cumbersome. Bush, Tom Petty, Soul Asylum. Green Day again, Bush, Alice in Chains, President of the United States, Lump. Alanis Morissette still. Sponge, Portishead, Everything But the Girl, Missing. The Offspring. Queensryche was still around. Foo Fighters, I mentioned Hootie. So there was some good rock music also happening. The Toadies, Possum Kingdom, great song. I like that one. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Deja Voodoo, Better Than Ezra, Blessed Union of Souls. So some great stuff when it came to rock. Country, let's see, Pickup Man, Joe Diffie, Tim McGraw, Not a Moment Too Soon. Tim McGraw was coming on to the scene. He had a lot of great songs in 95. Alan Jackson, Pam Tillis, Colin Ray. Wade Hayes, Old Enough to Know Better. Kind of a one-hit wonder on the countryside. George Strait was still doing his thing. Reuben McIntyre, The Heart Was a Lonely Hunter. Brooks and Dunn doing their thing. Mark Chestnut, Ty Herndon, Clint Black, Tracy Lawrence, Shania Twain's Any Man of Mine, Lori Morgan, Jeff Carson, Brian White. I Like It, I Love It by Tim McGraw. That's been, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks as a number one. Garth Brooks, She's Every Woman. David Lee Murphy, George Strait's Check Yes or No was a number one for 5 weeks. Alan Jackson again, Aaron Tippin. So again, a time where country found its way in popular music too. A lot of great stuff from the 90s, man. Like, I remember back mid-90s, late 90s, I personally, and I still do, I listen to a lot of different genres, but man, in the mid-90s, I was listening, some of my friends and stuff, to a lot of different things. Like, we could listen to Loonies and Tupac, and then do Pearl Jam, Black, and then, Yellow Ledbetter, and then still listen to Aaron Tippin and George Strait. Wayne Toops around here was doing his thing. It was just this big melting pot of music. Major League Baseball ended a 230-day strike in 95. Who remembers Windows 95? I do. Windows 95 was a big deal. Remember the video guide they put out with Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry? Also, JavaScript was first introduced and deployed. Selena and Jerry Garcia passed away. That was 2 big losses. I think Selena would have been a huge pop star because she was doing her thing with Latin music, but she was really trying to break on to the pop scene here in the United States, singing English songs. She has some great songs, and then tragically, she lost her life at the age of 23, murdered by her former agent. And then Grateful Dead guitarist Jerry Garcia passed away from a heart attack at the age of 53. A few popular websites got their start. eBay, the online auction and shopping website. Match.com came out in 1995 before Tinder. There was Match.com. And Amazon sold its first book. Remember when Amazon would sell books? So you had 3 big websites before the internet was really hitting mass popularity: eBay, Match.com, and Amazon. So what was the best-selling truck? Yeah, the Ford F-Series, and it looked like this. Top movies in 95. How many of these did you watch? Die Hard with a Vengeance, number 10. Seven, number 9. Casper, Jumanji, GoldenEye, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, Pocahontas, Apollo 13, Batman Forever, which made Seal popular, and number 1, Toy Story. Toy Story's great. I still watch that. Toy Story 2, though, is my favorite. Not Toy Story 1. I like Toy Story 2. My son, my daughter watched a lot of those growing up. Also from 95, Clueless. It gave a lot of people different catchphrases. Like what if or as if? Is that what Alicia Silverstone said? Tommy Boy, Showgirls. Remember Showgirls with Elizabeth Berkley? She was on Saved by the Bell. Dangerous Minds, which is where Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise came from. Casino. If you were a kid in the mid-90s, you probably watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, on VHS. Canadian Bacon. Remember that with John Candy? Billy Madison, Tu Wong Fu, Empire Records, which was a great soundtrack, Brady Bunch movie, Dead Presidents, Crimson Tide, Dead Man Walking. Also, The American President was from 1995. And also in 95, this was big. I was doing some research and I'm thinking, man, 95 was kind of blah. But DVDs were announced in 95. This I do not remember. But again, I was turning 20. Kids may remember this. You remember Pogs? P-O-G-S. It was this. And this was a worldwide phenomenon. Was maybe just not around here. Did I not care? But kids became obsessed with these tiny collectible discs. Several schools, according to what I was reading, had to ban them because it became a distraction. Pogs. Don't know. MTV launched a couple of new shows, and I forgot about this one. On June 5th, they launched Singled Out. Remember who was on Singled Out? It was a dating game. Jenny McCarthy and Chris Hardwick. And also, we talked about in previous episodes, MTV had launched The Real World. But in 95, they did a spinoff, and they did what? Road Rules. That premiered in July of 95 and aired for 12 years. Fashion in 95, nothing really over the top, man. I was doing, looking around, doing a Google search, looking at a few things. Obviously Clueless, which wasn't a top 10 movie, but it was a pop culture movie. Maybe we can call it a cult movie. But if you were female and you came up around this time, you watched Clueless, and you may have tried to dress like Alicia Silverstone, or what was the other one? Stacey, what's her name? Why can't I think of that? That should be easy. Stacey Dash. Yeah, I didn't have to look that up. But plaid had its place, baggy jeans, oversized jeans. There was a casual, comfortable look. I look back, I kind of remember wearing, a lot of T-shirts, pullover shirts, jeans as well. Very, very plain fashion in 1995. Dolly. Remember Dolly, the sheep? The cloned sheep? Born on July 5th, lived for 7 years. The X Games were first broadcasted in 95 on ESPN. When it came to sports, World Series champs, the Atlanta Braves, beat the Cleveland Indians in 6 games to capture their 3rd World Series championship in franchise history. Super Bowl champs, San Francisco 49ers, beat the San Diego Chargers pretty heavily, 49-26. In the NBA, the Houston Rockets swept the Magic 4-0. Shaquille was on the Magic at that time. Who else? Like Penny Hardaway? Who was on the Rockets? You had Akeem Olajuwon. If I'm not mistaken, Clyde Drexler was on the Rockets in 95. You had Robert Horry. The Rockets were a pretty solid team in 95. So that'll do it. Wrapping up our class reunion for the year 1995. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. You can communicate with me that way, direct messages, comment on my YouTube videos. You can email me, classreunionwithchrislogan@gmail.com. Oh, and TikTok, Class Reunion with Chris Log, L-O-G, just leave off the A in the end. But I appreciate you diving into 80s and 90s pop culture. Until next time.